This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com. Today's episode of Arn is all about Fastlane 2016. Went down on February 21st, 2016 at the Quicken Loans Arena right there in Cleveland, Ohio. Big crowd, a near legitimate sellout here, 14,446 fans there. It's the second ever Fastlane event. This is the final Fastlane before the company attempts another brand split. It's going to turn into a Raw pay-per-view the following year. The poster of the show features our main event, Dean Ambrose, Roman Reigns, and Brock Lesnar. And they're all waving the checkered flag in front of Eva Marie. Fastlane, I guess in naming this, we're trying to set the tone. We're on the fast lane to WrestleMania. After Royal Rumble, everybody's ready for WrestleMania season, right, Arn?
Yeah, and that's exactly what they're admitting. I think, if you think about it, there wasn't much time between the Rumble and WrestleMania.
Right.
Probably not enough. It always felt like after the Rumble, WrestleMania was, main event was set. You were pretty much now in a position where, okay, we got our main event. Now let's start filling in the blanks around it. But when you had to immediately build to Fastlane, as soon as Fastlane was over, then you had a rushed build to WrestleMania. I just felt like that was one pay-per-view that was just jammed in there that we could have done without.
The show itself, Fastlane 2016, was a mixed bag, man. It only got 50.7% thumbs up in the Observer from the readers there. 24.9% gave it a thumbs down, and 24.4% gave it thumbs in the middle. You watched this show for the first time in 5 years. What do you think? Thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle?
Well, I just think, like I said earlier, it's just, we were jamming stuff together, trying to get a number, trying to get, buy rate. And, it just always felt like to me, it was just crammed in there. I'm not a fan. If you've got a big show, I love that one pay-per-view every 4 months, and man, build it huge. And if you totaled up the numbers of those 4 shows back when business was really popping, things were doing right. And then you totaled up, those years where we had, let's just say we had 14 pay-per-views. And I'm sure, some years we did. And you total up the same 2 numbers, they probably weren't that far apart. And just imagine all the expenses that you put into all those extra pay-per-views and all the sets of trans and all the plane tickets and all the hotel rooms and all those things that you were paying for that were added expense. It just seemed like to me that's one pay-per-view. Once you had the Rumble, Fastlane could have easily went away and it wouldn't have pissed anybody off.
Let's talk about the card itself. It's weird to me that we talked about at the start of this show that it only got 50% thumbs up. When it came to the best match poll, Reigns, Lesnar, and Ambrose in the main event got the most votes. The second most votes was AJ and Jericho. The third most was Owens and Ziggler. All excellent matches. The worst match, pretty overwhelmingly, was Curtis Axel and R-Truth, even though it's just 2 minutes. And I'm really shocked that it got mixed reviews. Meltzer says the show got mixed reviews. I thought most of the matches were good, but the period from after the ending of Jericho and Styles until the main event, there was a long segment, including the New Day, Edge and Christian, and the League of Nations, and the dreadful R-Truth Curtis Axel match, and it took the show down. It's completely baffling, the idea of the cool down before the main event that takes people out of the show. It needed to be so long and even needed to be there at all. Almost no other promotion, whether it's an MMA or wrestling, tanks the period leading to the main event. On this show, they moved a very good Kalisto Del Rio match that was 2 out of 3 falls to the pre-show, and then they put Truth and Axel on right before the main event. The main event was fantastic, and most matches were good. I would have expected more things to build to WrestleMania, but they saved that until Raw. And I think he's probably got a point just based on the way the show is structured. The pre-show match, as we mentioned, with Kalisto and Alberto Del Rio, got 3.25 stars. Becky and Sasha's match got 2.5. Owens and Ziggler had a home run effort at 3.25. All the six mans, with all the beef we talked about, was a 3-star match. Charlotte and Brie got 2.75. The crowd was super hot for it. AJ and Jericho had a 4-star match. Curtis Axel and R-Truth were sort of there, got a dud rating. But the main event, man, 4.5 stars. There's a lot of really good wrestling on this, but fans still seem to think it was a mixed bag. Only half thought it was a thumbs up show. What do you make of that? Is it just the positioning?
Well, there's a way to put a placeholder match right before the main event. I don't think you had all that talking with all those guys out there, followed by a 2-minute match with no story really, right?
Yep.
So then you got to tack whatever time that was. If you look at it in that vein, that it was, there was no story with R-Truth and Goldust and all that stuff. It was just, that's exactly what it was, just to get them on TV. So if you add that time into all the talking that was done on the promo segment, that's a large chunk of time for nothing really that was built in the show. What if you would have put Charlotte and Brie in that spot?
Right.
Now you have a totally different match than the main event. It's still good quality storytelling. It's something I'm invested in. You get a clean finish. Everybody's happy. Now you can take a pause. Okay, now we're ready for our main event. That would have been an easy fix, I think.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.